are so excited to have this turnout, and with us today we are very excited to have Debby Lauret. She is called the Chamber Lady for North County. She has been the Executive Director of the American Fork Area Chamber of Commerce for 10 years. She loves helping business succeed. She is also the Economic Development Director for American Fork City. She received her MPA from BYU in '96, and she met her current husband, Jim, at Soldier Hollow while they were volunteering for the Olympics. I didn't know that about you, Debbie. That's awesome.
The word current is uncomfortable. I only had two. He's my second.
Oh. That's okay. I won't hold it against you. I've had a couple myself. Okay. Hey, Debbie, at least you've still got one. Okay, and so together they have a combined family of 9 children, 7 married, 13 grandchildren with 3 on the way. She has a humanitarian heart and currently is a Rotarian at the local American Fork Club, where she works to help fight hunger. Let's just have her come up. Debbie, come on up. And this is just a little token of our appreciation that you came up, and we need to have you come over here so that the TV folks can hear you. So
okay, I got some.
I'll move. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, I've only been married twice, so current, that makes sound like I was going through year after year, but I'm not, just one. Thank you for having me down here. This is awesome. I didn't make enough copies, so put a few on your desk for some of the things I'm going to talk about. And I apologize because I thought, oh, small intimate group, this is not small and intimate, this is awesome. So congratulations, and I think the energy in the room is awesome. So I want to talk to you about a couple things that I've learned in the chamber world. And then I'm also going to talk to you a little, this book is a great resource, Networking Like a Pro. You can get this on Amazon, and so some of the information is from this book, and some of it's my own philosophy. And then I'm going to take you through a few ideas to help you grow your businesses as well as have success and live a really happy, abundant life. So thank you for having me. Have you ever been to a networking event and somebody comes up to you and says, hi, here's my card. You like me? Buy my stuff. Come on. Okay. You know, if you don't buy for me, my kids go hungry this month. Here, my card, you better call me. You know, I'm going to lose my home. I need you to buy for me. Okay. Do you hate that? I hate that. It's like they don't give a dang about me, right? It's all about them. It's all about, I call this the hunt. You will like me and you will buy for me. I don't care what you need. You don't need my service. It doesn't matter. I only want you to buy. And people come back saying, oh, I didn't make any connections. I didn't get anyone who's going to buy my stuff. Wrong idea, people. This is not a hunting game. It is not a goal who can collect the most business cards. That is not, if that's your mentality, change it today, change it now. This is about creating relationships with people. Put away the hunting mentality. Put on your, I call it the farming mentality. You're going to plant seeds. You're going to nurture those seeds. That means watering, soiling, sunshine. That eventually, you'll probably have a harvest. The idea here is I want to get to know you on an intimate basis. I want to know your likes, your dislikes. We may never do business. Guess what? Who cares? It's okay. But how life works, she may know someone who needs my services. She may have a family or friend. Or if not, I just have a good friend. If we never transact, any money never changes hands. Doesn't matter. I have a friend, right? If you can't be a sincere friend, you cannot do this if you're an insincere person. That is fake. I've had people who cultivated my friendship only to make me buy stuff. I hate that. I hate that. If you're going to try to sell me something and you don't care about me, I'm closing you down right away. If you, however, though, care about me, my life, you either care about my grandkids or my kids, we're friends for life. We are. We're friends for life. Teresa, how many years have we been friends? 10 years?
About, yeah.
Love Teresa, right? Raise your hand. Okay. We talk about things at Costco, right?
Yeah.
But is our relationship based on the amount of money I spent at Costco, even though I do spend a lot. But our relationship is because of what?
Because we know each other and we've been doing everything together for 10 years.
10 years. 10 years. Yep. There's other people around here. So I'm just telling you, it's about enriching your life, creating opportunities, and cultivating those relationships. In my MPA work at BYU, one of the articles that they had us read was about economic systems. And one of the reasons that economic systems break down, according to this author, was we are not in bowling leagues anymore. What he said is we don't bowl anymore. We don't get together as communities and go bowling. And I thought, you know what, he's brilliant. Why would a bowling league create a great economic system?
Because you're so connected and
You're connected.
invested in
And you're building relationships of what? Trust.
friendship.
I know you, you know me, our kids are bowling, we're bowling together, we're on the league. We don't do that anymore. So our economic system has lowered, right? So what we need to do is re-engage. And let's face it, I love Facebook, I love the phone, but we have to be really careful to keep that in check and not just have these fake friends, I call them, right? Fake friends, even though some of them are really my friends. So make sure that you are creating real relationships, real opportunities. Okay, networking is social and professional interactions that lead to positive relationships. Studies show that lucky people increase their chances of being in the right place at the right time by building a spider web structure of relationships that catch information. Success is social. All the ingredients of success that we customarily think of as individuals, talent, intelligence, education, effort, and luck, are always intertwined with network. Have you ever thought of it that way? Sometimes, oh, that person's so lucky. They're just so lucky. Is it only luck? I would maintain it's more than luck. It's building the structure, the friendships, the communities, the relationships you have so that you are going to be at the right place at the right time to build those kind of things. Second principle I want to talk to you about is called the law of reciprocity and abundant thinking. Usually in math, a reciprocal is something that's the opposite, or if I do this, you give back to me. It's kind of tit for tat, right? So when you're thinking of this way, you need to change your thinking, because a lot of times you think, well, if I buy this from you, then you're going to turn around and buy something from me. It may or may not work that way, right? I may not have the need. So you need to give without the idea of getting something in return. Okay, that's kind of the abundance mentality, not the scarcity mentality. It's the abundant mentality. The more I give, the more I will have in my life. And ladies, I can honestly tell you, I've had experience after experiences. The universe, the karma, whatever you want to call it, comes back to you unexpectedly in ways you don't even know. So if you're an abundant giver versus a scarcity mentality person, your life will be richer. I actually have an abundance journal at my house. I should have brought it. And in it are the abundant miracles of my life. I started keeping it, I don't know, a few years ago, with the idea just to watch the magic. I call it the magic. And when I really have a need, I usually put it in the universe. And it's worked for me from get a new coat, clothes. I have had friends say, you know what, this might be your size. And they'll bring it to me. I won a coat once, I needed a new windbreaker, and there was a coat, I was at an event, they drew my name, and I won the coat. I'm like, thank you, universe. And guess what? I'm not a small person. It was a 2X. It was my size. I mean, really, who has a 2X? They did. I won it. It's cool. So the idea is to give without always getting something in return. I have two great examples. Well, I like Costco. Costco's amazing. They're generous, they're community spirit. I tell them, if you stop being community spirit, then you're just Sam's Club. So don't even go there, right? Right. Be Costco. Costco's community minded. There is a car dealership in American Fork called Doug Smith. You've probably seen his commercials, Hey Doug. The Smith brothers are some of the finest men I've ever met in my whole life. When they moved to American Fork, the American Fork band was going on one of their big trips. They're the best band in the state. They won competition after competition. And I think they were going either an inauguration or one of the big parades. And the band needed a lot of money to travel. They needed big bucks. And they went to the community, did fundraisers. They also went to the business community. Doug Smith told me, he's like, we decided as a company we were going to give them $10,000. He said to me, Debbie, we didn't have $10,000. He's like, we decided we're going to do it anyway. He's like, so my brothers and I pooled our money, and we decided that we were going to give this money, 10 grand. He said, that's the best 10 grand I've ever spent in my whole life. I said, why? He's like, more band members have bought cars for me. 1 car, 2 cars, 3 cars. He goes, I've had band members drive from California to buy a car for me in Utah. He's like, how many car dealerships did they pass along the way? He's like, and they did not give it with the idea they were going to get returned. They gave it because it was the right thing to do. And it came back to him. He said, I can't even tell you how many cars I sold to those band members. Multiple cars. So the idea is, it was a sacrifice. They did it because it was the right choice. The kids knew they cared, and then when they had an opportunity, they came back and bought a car from him. Chick-fil-A. Who likes Chick-fil-A? The Chick-fil-A in American Fork, they rock. They've won New Business of the Year, because I can't give them any more awards. I don't have any more awards to give them. They support schools, our golf tournaments, the parades, the local city things. Anything you want, they'll create a coupon, they'll create a night, a fundraising night. They'll put money, they'll give you free stuff. And they're always so generous. Now, they run a business, right? I mean, they know that eventually they hope you guys are going to come and buy chicken from them. But they're engaged in the community. People are seeing them in the community. They're seeing them in their elementary school. They're bringing their cow. They're blowing it up. You know, wherever they go. You hit them on the golf course or you put them on the parade. You know, it doesn't matter. The idea is they're engaged in the community. It's a wonderful way to be, because what happens is people feel good about you. They know you care about them. You're not always just taking their money. Thank you, thank you, thank you, pocket, pocket, but they're actually giving some back. So those 2 companies, I think, are really, really great examples to show how we should do it. Giving means helping others succeed, others achieve success. So when you're a giver and you develop this mentality, I want to make you succeed. My friends, during this recession time, I wanted to give them business. I looked for opportunities to help them. I listened to conversations. If I heard someone say a need, I go, oh, I know great business. You might want to talk to them. I tried to become a resource. And you know what? I didn't always want my friends, I mean, I want them to give me a good deal, but I want to make sure they make money. Does that make sense? I want them to make some money. I want you to be successful. So you don't have to give me things for free. Just give me a little better than someone off the street, right? Because I'm your friend. But make sure that you're creating this giving up mentality for your friends. Volunteering, showing you, helping them. There were a couple of businesses that were new businesses. There was the Caleb School of Music. It's Caleb's a famous local educator. He does jazz. He's got the best high school jazz band in the world. According to Downbeat magazine, the Crescent School of Music is the #1. They're going to Carnegie Hall in May, and they're going to be performing at Carnegie Hall. They travel the world. Those guys go to Japan. They go to all kinds of jazz festivals. They're amazing. Well, they were having a hard time finishing their classrooms. So my husband and I said, you know, we're going to come over. We're going to help you. Your grand opening is tomorrow. I scrub floors, guys. I scrubbed floors. I helped paint. We cleaned up. He's like, why are you doing this? He's like, I said to him, I want you to be successful. I want to help you. And so every year he calls me and says, hey, Deb, you want to take us to the jazz concert we're going to have at Westlake out in Saratoga Springs, Little Mountain area? Do you want tickets? How many tickets could you use? Could you use 20? How about 20? I'm like, sure, give me 20 tickets. I didn't do it with the idea that someday I was going to be able to go to his concerts for free, right? I did it because I cared and I wanted him to have great success. So I wanted to be a helper. I wanted to volunteer my time and effort. And that's what we need to do. We need to look for ways to serve each other, help each other, talk to people, not just what's your business. You know, why did you choose to get in that area? What was it about that? Is that one of your talents? Or ask engaging questions. And what do you like best about your business? As you're talking to people, create, you know, what are your hobbies? Tell me about your kids. And as women, you know, we always got a childbirth experience, right? We can always talk about the horrors of childbirth. If nothing else, I had 35 hours of labor and no other. I mean, come on, you can find something to talk about, right? It's true. We can talk about our kids or our neighborhoods or families, or if you're not married, that's fine too. You can talk about your nieces or whatever. You can find interests to talk to people about. It's not hard. And you know what? I'm an outgoing person, but even I have to kind of, okay, I gotta put on my, you know, my face to go out, especially when I was single. Oh my gosh, that was scary. you know, try to get up the courage to talk to people. But I would set a goal to meet 2 people I didn't know. Every place I went, male or female. And I'd actually write down their names, and I would try to remember something about them. And, you know, maybe, person in purple, polka dot, whatever, they liked chocolate or something, you know, something that I could help me. Or on the back of their business card, if I'm in a network, you know, write some clues so I remember who they are. I want to remember people's names. I like to hear their names. I dated a guy, his father was a pharmacist. He had one of those Rolodexes, and when the person walked in the door, he would turn to that person, and he had written on their clues, their kids, their names, if they were like on a mission, or they were at school. So when he'd flip when they come in, and he would say, "Oh, so how is John, who's in Ecuador? How's he doing?" And they're like, "Oh, I'm so glad you remembered." He had a little cheap thing because he wrote it down. He claims, he told me, my father's business was at least 25% more profitable because of how he engaged with the customers. Because let's tell me, when you're a pill pusher, really, you can feel that anywhere, right? A pharmacy is a pharmacy is a pharmacy. It's really the service that's going to set you apart. Same with the bank. The Bank of America Fork just celebrated their 100th anniversary. And you know what? They're also community spirited. But there's tons of banks. They all have checking accounts, they all have this. When I walk in the Bank of America Fork, 3 or 4 people say to me, "Debbie, how's your new grandbaby?" Or, "Debbie, I really like your shirt." Or, "Debbie, tell me about, you know, this and such," because they ask me about my life. Do I forget about the bank? Of course I do. They know me, they care about me. Whereas I used to go to a credit union, and my husband still banks there, and I've been trying to say, "Get us out of the credit union." They ask me for ID every time I go. I go there once a week. Are you blind? Do you not know me right now? Why are you IDing me? I understand if you've never seen me, but this is the bank I go all the time to, the credit union. It frustrates me. It frustrates me they don't know my name and they're still IDing me. I'm like, people, come on, I'm not that unmemorable. Come on, I'm memorable.
Yes, you are.
So, I've given you, on the back of this book, some sheets here. And this can give you some ideas on how to create and how to become a resource for networking. And this just gives you a few ideas. I'm really big about thank you cards, and I mean handwritten thank you cards. And if you can't do handwritten, then at least do the send a card thing. If you can't do that, at least an email. If you can't do that, I don't know, figure out something. But I like someone who takes the time to write me a personal note, right? It shows they care and it shows that they took some time. Send a small gift if you know someone likes something. You know, I have some friends who like, I got a friend who loves BYU anything. She loves anything BYU. Her office has like 260 different stupid items in it. I don't want to look at to send her something. I found a new BYU item for your office. So, I mean, think of things in personality. Send them a gift. Some of these other things, set up an activity, go to lunch, you know, we all need to eat, so go to lunch with people, you know. And it's not about, if you go to lunch, it's not like, don't talk about business, talk about each other, right? Because I hate when I go to a free lunch and someone, I feel like I'm getting set up for the big, I'm at the end, I'm going to close the deal with you, and I'm going to try to bring, I hate those. No, set it that you care about me. I'll give you my business if you've solved my pain and can do something for a good value. I'll give it to you, you won't have to ask me. If you solve one of my problems, if I need my carpets cleaned, I'm going to use you, right? But if you set me up, ooh, I'm going to be ticked. I'm going to be ticked. Do not set me up. Do not. I hate that. Some of the other ideas, send an article of interest. Maybe they're cyclists. Maybe they have certain hobbies. If you find an article, send it to them. Or you see them in the paper, cut it out, send it to them. That's really fun. Display their brochures. There's different ideas in here, so I just want to show you some ideas. And if you really want to, be good at this, this kind of gives you a checklist of how to do it and some ideas. The real idea is be authentic, be real, create friendships. Yeah.
There's many people that didn't get that. Can we get that from you and put it on our website?
Yeah, I can either give it to her.
Okay. We'll get it out to you. In fact, you can email office@SpanishForkChamber.com, and I will make sure you get a copy.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to just go through some networking opportunities, and then I'm going to change my focus to kind of abundant mentality and living. They're casual networking groups. That's what we're here today. Chamber of Commerce, women's groups, variety of businesses. There's knowledge networks. This could be your professional associations in your industry. I know there's like, if you're a realtor, there's like the Utah Board of Realtors if you're a home builder. to home builders. Those are good opportunities to meet people who are like-minded, who have similar interests. There is some good online networks. You've got LinkedIn, you've got Facebook, communicating ideas. But it doesn't replace the face-to-face relationship building, okay? That's just another resource. And then there's some really strong contact groups, things like BNI. Rotary also it's more of a service, but there's, you're expected to come once a week, to be there, to be engaged, take attendance, those kind of things. So there's 4 different ways. So do something, make sure that you're talking to people and engaged in groups and creating friendships. Now I want to shift what I'm going to talk about from networking. Hopefully I've given you a few ideas to developing an abundance mentality and a charitable heart. Wendy Osborne, where are you? Wendy, come. Yeah, come on.
Wendy Osborne.
My Rotary Club in American Fork, how many years ago? 3 or 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever she started Tabitha's Way. And she made a presentation about her Tabitha's Way. Have you guys been to Tabitha's Way?
Yes.
And I was so inspired by her. Honestly, I thought, I want to be like her when I grow up. She's amazing. She quit her job in telecommunications to start a thrift store to help people and a food pantry. If that's not the most Christian person you've ever met in your life, you need to learn about this woman. I was inspired. I was so inspired by her. I said, I can do something in my community. I can do something in my own community. And so I was president of the American Fork Rotary Club. My term ended in June. And I developed what's called the Forks for Food program. It's Spanish Fork and American Fork. The 2 forks. And think about forks. Forks is how you eat, right? With a fork. I thought it was brilliant. It was sheer inspiration. I can't think of it. It was inspiration from on high. And I said, I'm going to make a difference in my community because Wendy inspired me. She inspired me. She did. And so I talked to the Spanish Fork Rotary. I wrote some grants, got some money, and we have, for the last couple of years, helped with food. We've given you probably, you don't know this because it came through Rotary Club and the ALA kids. I think we've given you about $400 worth of food and products.
Oh, more than that.
Yeah.
More than that.
More than that. Well, at least for me, that I can count for. And then I partnered with Fresh Market, a grocery store in American Fork. And I called them and I said, you sit down now. Oh, thank you. Sorry. I said to them, well, first of all, we've taken, in American Fork, there's a week where if you bring a can of food, you don't have to pay the fines at the library. It's like food in lieu of fines. And they called me and said, we have all this food. And I said, great, let's take it to, there's the Adventure Church in American Fork. That's where our food bank is for North Utah County. And so I called them, I said, guess what, we're bringing you some food. And they said, great. It was boxes and boxes, which is great. And mittens and gloves, because they do a mitten tree, which is all great. So I called them, take it down there. And I looked at the guy and I said, so what do you need? What do you need? He's like, well, Community Action came and it's Christmas, and we have 0 Christmas dinners. We have 0 turkeys and we have 0 hams. And I went, oh, that's not good. And I knew I'd written this grant, so I knew I had some money. I knew I had $200, but I'm, so if we'd like to give them a large sliced ham, and I'm trying to calculate at $20. I probably can buy 20. I said, how many do you need? He's like, well, I have about 50, 60 families on mine. I didn't dare commit to him because I didn't know. First of all, I didn't have board approval to spend my money yet, but I knew I could get it. So I said, I'll get back to you. So I went back to my office, got on the phone with Fresh Market, Dennis Jensen, who's been there for 30 years. I said, Dennis, can you sell me hams at your rock bottom price? I mean, you give me your best deal, make no money on it. I said, let me tell you, the food bank needs some dinners. And I've got so much money, I've got $400, I want to try to maximize that and get the most I can do. And he's like, well, let me tell you something, Deb. He's like, we've been doing this season of sharing, and we may have a little bit of money. People donate $1 to $3. He said, let me see what I can do. I said, great. Calls me back. He goes, I can give you, he said, 40 turkey dinners. Pre-cooked turkeys, mashed potatoes, dressing, gravy, the whole line here, for 40. I'm going, okay, great, okay. So I call back food bank. I said, guess what? We're bringing you turkey dinners, and we're going to give you some ham dinners, and so no worries. Then I put a call out on Facebook, and all my friends who wants to donate to some hams and whatever, and We ended up with 64 meals, which is a lot of, and so what I'm telling you is, because of her, who inspired me to write a grant to get money for food, who was inspired to call the local grocery store, there was enough for all of them to have a Christmas dinner. And guess what? They had 64 families, ladies, that came. You're telling me that that's a miracle, right? It wasn't 65, it was 64. We had 64 meals. I'm like, thank you, God. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And so what I'm telling you is there's so many opportunities to serve. And you know what? I didn't have to put in, I put in some money. I did. I bought some money. But it wasn't just my money. It was partnering with people, creating the need, and making it happen. This year, I said to the food bank, so what do you think? You're gonna need some? They're like, well, we now got about 100 families. I'm like, 100? 100? I'm like, okay. So I called Fresh Market in November. I said, okay, guess what? We got to do more. Can we do more than the 40 you did? Can we do, even more? And so they raised about $4,800 for me to buy meals. And so we delivered with the money I had for my grant. I wrote another grant and other things. We had 96 meals. Once again, I called her. I said, "Did you have the 100?" Or when we were, she was like, "We had enough." So that one little idea probably was worth about $6,000, ladies. Okay, I'm nothing special. I just was open to the idea of helping, right? And so that's what you want to create in your life. I've given you a copy of this article, The Privilege of Giving. This article appeared in the BYU Marriott School of Management. This gentleman, his name is Arthur Brooks, had come to BYU to lecture. He is a professor from Syracuse University of Public Affairs. And the article was called The Privilege of Giving. This article changed my life, so nothing I want to have. It talks about why it is a privilege to give and why it'll make you even richer if you do give. Usually when we give, we think of a pie chart. I have so much money, and it's like a little pizza. If I give a little slice here, I'm going to have less, right? If I give this slice to my house, this starts with food, this starts my charitable giving, I'm going to have nothing at the end. But what we find that in charitable giving, your pie doesn't lessen, your pie actually grows. See, the pie grows. It doesn't go less, it goes bigger. So it's counterintuitive. And he was an economist, and he said, I expected to find that when people got rich, they would give more because they had more money, but that when they gave more, they didn't necessarily get richer. It's like, we did a 30,000 American family study called the Social Capital Community Benchmark Study, in which we asked families what they do with their time, where they donate, if they volunteer, how much money they make, what their jobs are, and he goes, it was a very exhaustive study. He said, what we found is that two families being identical, similar demographics, similar money, the family that gave $100 to charitable organizations, actually in their budget had $375 more at the end. Think of the return on your money. For every dollar you gave, there's almost a 400% return. 400%. Now I guarantee your passbook savings are giving you what? 0.01. I mean, it's really little. Would you like to be 400%? So people tell me, oh, I can't afford to give. And I always say, you can't afford not to give. Because any money you give in a charitable way will come back to you 4 times. And it's not that it's exactly, I like to say the universe gives you what you give it. And so, and maybe it won't be exactly a dollar for dollar, but like I said, I have so many experiences over and over about abundant living. I went to Roberts once, and my girlfriend, I wanted to get her this scrapbook, and it was $30. And I had 9 kids, and I had like 7 weddings, and money was tight. And so I said, can I use this coupon? It was like a 40% off Roberts coupon, whatever. The lady's like, no, you can't use it, but this is already on sale. I said, great. So she took it off. It was $4.99. I went, score. I got $4.99. I went back the next day, and I said, oh, I want to get 3 more of these, because it's a really good deal. And she went through the thing, and I'm like, what do you mean $30? These were clearance for 5. She's like, man, these have never been clearance ever. She's like, this is not a clearance item. These are brand new items.
Oh, wow.
I went, really? I got it one time, I call it universe deal. Really. because I had limited funds, and the universe gave me this one-time deal. I mean, I can tell you over and over and over and over and over. I bet Wendy can tell you the same things over and over, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the miracles that happen. The other thing about giving is it makes you happier. It makes you happier. He says in this article, giving changes givers and makes them more effective, and giving changes the perception of others that are givers, that also makes them more successful. So basically, if you're a giver, you're just going to be happier. So he talks about how happier people give more, and the more people give, the happier they are. Think about it. So we get all depressed, right? We're women, we're overwhelmed. We have to create opportunities to give. And I don't think it matters what the amount is. It does not matter. It just has to pinch a little bit, right? Because if it doesn't pinch, it's not a sacrifice. So there needs to be an element of sacrifice. I'm of the LDS faith, and I was a leader of the 12 and 13-year-old girls. They're called Beehives. And a lady had come to our Rotary Club who was this Taiwan adoption agency. And she was talking about how in Taiwan, when they get pregnant, it's such a shame for the family that they're kind of banished. And wondering if we could, our Rotary Club, help with baby gifts for the mothers. Maybe we could send them some baby stuff. I said, and I had the inspiration that I was going to go back and they said, and they're really petite and they're little girls and they don't have a whole lot. They're kind of, from their families. And I thought, okay, my 12 and 13-year-olds, they have wardrobes. I live in a nice area of Orem. These girls can probably sacrifice a little bit. So I went back the next week and I said to them, okay, girls, we got a project. And I have a lady come and talk to us and they got all excited. And so they said, I want you to go through your clothes and don't give me all the ugly stuff. Give me something you like, something that's hard to get rid of. And then we did a little thing around our neighborhood. We passed a little flyer donating, whatever. And then we decided we were going to make them stockings. And we're going to put in there different things for stockings. Now, Taiwan's a non-Christian thing, and so people say, why are you sending them Christmas stockings? I'm like, I don't know, they asked for them. So we're going to give them what they asked. And so on the appointed time, they'd ever bring their stuff, and the girls emptied their wardrobes and the toys, and we got baby clothes. And I kid you not, my living room was brimming with stuff. Brimming with stuff. And the girls were like, and I made a CD for them, some of my favorite music, and I mean, these girls caught the vision of what we were doing. So we go to take this to this Taiwan adoption agency in American Fork, and they're storage unit, and my car's filled. And the gentleman says to me, he's like, Debbie, would it be okay if we only send some of the stuff to Taiwan? He's like, we have some needs in Haiti that we need to send some of these clothes to. I'm like, okay, I don't care where they go. And then he said, and we told you we want a Christmas stocking. He's like, would it be okay if we sent them to Philadelphia? I'm like, okay, what's in Philadelphia? He's like, we have families that have placed their children for adoption, and they're kind of low income, and we'd like to send them the 25 stockings. But the stockings had supplies and fun stuff and candy and, I don't know, hair things and toothpaste. And is it okay if we send those stockings to Philadelphia? I'm like, sure. So this little project became helping these Taiwan mothers, their babies, people in Haiti, and now adopted families in Philadelphia. I mean, think about it. Once again, just me by myself, couldn't have done it. But I embraced my community, and I made it happen. So I'm not going to talk anymore about this article will change your life. It talks about the blessings of giving, how it changes you. You're happier. You'll be more. It says, giving makes you happy, healthy, and rich. I don't know about you, but I'd like to be all three of those. It makes you stronger, more prosperous, happier individual. It makes you a better citizen. It makes community stronger. It makes us a great nation. And that means all of us are needy, and we're all in the need to give all the time. So I commend this article to your reading. And as you are working, this is my personal philosophy. And so it's be good and do good. That hangs in my house. I want to be a person who's known for being a person of integrity. I want to be inspired to do things. And then I want to do good. I don't want, at the end of my life, to be the person with the most money. I don't really care. And I'm not going to be the skinniest. We already know that, okay? But in the end, hopefully my name will be known for good. That the world will be a better place, right? So that's my personal philosophy. And I make my kids come along. I make them, I know we've fed people in the viaduct up in Salt Lake. We've been at the road home. We create opportunities to serve. Because guess what? If we don't, they're going to be spoiled, right? And they're going to be selfish. My daughter built homes in Mexico with the Rotary Interact kids. She was down there, she was tarring. She was tarring a roof. No feathers, just tarring. She was tarring for this home, and she came home and she's like, Mother, I will never complain about America. I said, why? She goes, we have grass and we have garbage pickup. I said, really? She's like, it's great. We have grass and we have garbage pickup. And she said, you know, she felt so blessed. And just great opportunities for your family, for you. And this women's group, I would find some things you guys want to do. I would create amazing friendships and great partnerships, and maybe Tabitha's Way something you want to consider. Because seriously, you need to know Wendy, and you need to be part of her life. She will bless your life like she blessed mine. And I say that because I love you. And you will be surprised what you guys will do together. You will be amazed at what women, this many women, can you imagine if you all partner together, what you'll be able to do? You could probably, you know, I don't know, feed the homeless, you could probably read to, you know, kids, visit the elderly. I don't know what project in Spanish Fork you need to do, but I guarantee you'll find something. Be open to the inspiration. Open your heart, really. You're going to have so much opportunities. You know, and with our women's group, we've distributed Alzheimer's. And in the past, we've done literacy. We've bought balance beams for the ICANN Foundation, or parallel bars. We bought an Eagle Eye for a kid who couldn't communicate except through flashing his eyes, like his blinking, that's it. And so you will be surprised what you can do. So be known for good in your community. As women, you're amazing. Have confidence in yourself. Create amazing friendships. And I promise you, if you do it with an open, abundant heart, you will be so happy. And in the end, your life will be full and rich. And so thank you for having me. If you have any questions, you can talk to me later. But thank you for having me. I appreciate it.